Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Chicago Grit Stage 5 back with Marshall. And we're going to dive into some race footage here. But first, congratulations are in order, buddy. Why don't you tell everybody what's going on?
Yeah, so I recently got selected to compete in Santiago, Chile with the national team for track cycling. So I'll be jetting off in a couple months to go to that.
Elite Worlds, not just any track cycling, like the pinnacle of the sport. So we'll be rooting for you. Really, really big accomplishment. Congratulations on that, man. But today we're talking about crit racing. Should we dive into some Lombard footage?
Let's do it.
Okay, we're literally like 3 kilometers into this race, and look at this. Group off the front, gap. Little group off the front, gap. This is a really hard start, and it's time to pay attention to what's going on, because you guys on MitoQ are like, you guys don't really have a pure sprinter. Without Ben there, you guys just are trying to stack breakaways, right?
Yeah. We're trying to we're trying to play to our odds and just really rip up every aspect of the race and get into breaks and win from reduced breaks.
And when you have teammates up the road, which you did, you guys saw, you have the luxury of following riders like this guy. And when he makes it across, you just keep the pressure on, right? Well, I mean, breakaways at this level of racing aren't usually done the first try. Oh, shooting the gap between those two guys. And you're just going to counterattack over the top, because that is how successful breakaways are started. Even though we're just a few kilometers into this race, you're on the gas. And this actually ends up, if we fast forward, this ends up being a solo move for quite a while. But you're not thinking you're going to solo to glory from 50 kilometers out, are you, Marshall?
No, I'm just thinking start hard or don't start at all, you know? Just go out there and and really just try and put everyone on the back foot.
Right, and then once you get caught, you can see it's Legion who chased you. So this is great. This is like your main competition in this race. They're having to do the chasing. Guess who's behind Legion? That's your teammate on MitoQ, followed by the who's who of crit racing, including one of the EF Pro guys. I think that's their development team, though, right?
Yeah, just one of their development guys that turned up to one of the crits.
So that's what it looks like. You rinse and repeat. We have Sam on the left here, eager to attack. I mean, he's waiting for the road to open up. He attacks for 2 seconds, slots back in, doesn't want to be killed by that curb, pops back out, and then you can see him in this little gap right there, shooting another attack on the outside. Basically doing what you did a moment ago, which is good for a lot of reasons. Obviously, I mean, there's a chance this stays away to the finish. It's unlikely. But more than likely, what it does is the rest of your team, now you can see them all cluttered up here towards the front, can sit back, enjoy the draft, which is like a 30, 40, maybe even 50% energy savings at this speed, you guys, while the competition's getting tired. So this is what good teamwork looks like.
Representation.
And while the other teams are chasing, you guys are just stacked up towards the front. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, including you, Marshall. This is what we're talking about, like 4 in the top 10 at these critical moments in the race. This is the reason why you guys on MitoQ are finding so much success here in the United States racing campaign. Obviously, it takes a lot of strength to do this. It's easy to talk about the right thing to do. Actually executing it's really difficult, but you guys are just on point.
It's always good to have a lot of guys in the front, but it could also be a bit of a hindrance, bit of a foreshadowing when people just absolutely nuke it from the back and you're at the front. You're not going to absolutely stomp it and give people behind you a free ride across to the riders bridging.
Right, that's a good point. It's not something I've talked about very much on the channel, but you can actually like be in too good of position where it sort of backfires, right? Talk about being up towards the front as much as possible, but if you are up towards the front and your entire team is up towards the front, if somebody launches a haymaker from 20 wheels back, it's much harder to respond. So yeah, be towards the front. We always talk about top third. But be in a position where you can respond to stuff. And speaking of which, there's another thing going off the front here. God, the first like 10 kilometers of this race were just absolutely crazy. And this actually ended up being the beginnings of the eventual break of the day. And so what does that mean for the rest of the guys on MitoQ? The work is not over. In fact, the first thing you guys do is communicate this information with each other. A lot of teams use radios. You guys are going old school. You don't have radios. You are actually talking to each other during the race. So that surprises a lot of people who aren't involved in this sport. And you can hear you guys right here talking.
Keegan and James.
I think you said Keegan and James, right?
Keegan and James are up there and just trying to inform the boys and let them know that do not launch across. Do not get on the front. Do not do any stupid moves.
But that doesn't mean you're sitting back and chilling either. What you're doing is you're discouraging people from trying to get across. So this ABC rider right here, launching one, you're like, not on my watch, right, Marshall? This is a good opportunity to, A, discourage this rider from jumping across, because you want to keep that ratio of, you guys have like 2 out of the 6 that are up the road. So you don't want a free rider to get across. And also, I mean, you might also get a free ride. Like, he might just tow you all the way across, right?
He put in a solid effort on the front for a couple of laps, I must say.
But unfortunately, he did not make it, and that really solidified the breakaway. I mean, this is like 20 kilometers later, 15 kilometers later. And then on the left, wha-bam! Lucas is like, not without me. And this is just the class of Lucas Burgoyne. I mean, this is really a Hail Mary move, and if I saw somebody doing this, I would be like, oh, that's dumb. They're never going to make it. But if I saw the national champion doing that, I'd be like, oh, maybe we don't let that one go. And if we watch it back, the reason it was successful is the thing we talked about earlier. He didn't attack from the front. He did this big old slingshot attack from 20 wheels back, committed to it, carried 5 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour faster than the front riders. He ended up solo bridging a gap up to a cleanly rotating breakaway, at this point 25 seconds off the front. Classy move by Lucas.
He probably launched it from the sprinter's lounge all the way from last wheel and just wham, straight across.
And that was really it. The race settled down after that, save for a couple of moments, Marshall, where you were again just doing amazing teamwork duty and following, for example, this ABC rider jumping across. We could show a few more examples of that, but basically just helping your teammates up the road, nurture their gap, and do everything you can to make sure that breakaway was successful.
Yeah, I backed Keegan from the break, and you know, if he's in the break, it's a good guy to put your money on, and I certainly did that. I had a lot of trust in him, so I was trying to play my hand best for him.
And that brings us to about 8.5 kilometers to go. They're calling a preem lap. Was that $400 for the field?
I think it was 300.
300 for the field. So good chunk of change. God, that's almost how much the winner of the race gets. Of course, we're thinking Omnium too, but this is one to fight for, right? You're positioned pretty well. Are you thinking about turning back into the preem hunter, Marshall?
My legs were pretty spent, but I was like, I might as well try. I was hoping I was going to try and give one of the boys a lead out. Like, I go past Sam here, and I'm thinking he's on my wheel. Like, I was happy to give him a lead out, but yeah, he has some other ideas.
You got your work cut out for you, because this rider in front of you in the white kit, we know who that is. That's Corey Williams, a very, very powerful sprinter, and I think he's thinking preem also. So amazing move by your teammate up the inside to kind of keep things fast, but this is way too far. I mean, this final corner to the finish line is still like 350 meters, something like that. You are positioned pretty much bang on perfect. The problem is, though, is you have Corey in front of you, who is making a lot of power.
Yeah, he just gaps me, and my legs start going goodbye.
No one to hold him, no one to fold him, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to chase that one down. If that was, by the way, if this was like a field preem, like if the whole field was together, there's no breakaway. These are good opportunities for a breakaway to go, but as we know, the breakaway's already gone with your teammate in it. So yeah, save the energy for the end of this race. Congratulate Corey as you come by $300 richer. All right, that brings us into the final 5 kilometers of this race. And God, I love how the end of this race plays out. It's so dynamic. So talk us through it. Here are your teammates on MitoQ. 3 of you gathering towards the front. We have a few more riders from Legion up there. We have some Blazers up there. But this is the field sprint, because the breakaway is gone. You're wishing your teammate Keegan best of luck. But you guys are like 5 of you are in the top 10 in the Omnium at this point. So you're treating this as if it's for the win, because you guys are trying to stack the top 10. I want you to walk us through the dynamic here of, like, you know, a 3 or 4 man lead out. What's going on in your mind? Where's your position? What's the objective here?
Yeah, so I was thinking the break's at a point where it's fine to do a lead out. We're not going to catch them. They've got like at least they could probably start catching us. But I'm kind of just the guy that gets on the front and keeps it fast for the team. I could kind of slot into a lead out anywhere, but I get the call up from James. He gives me the fingers, tells me to move up to the front, and I do so.
Yeah, I think that's coming up. He hasn't quite done that yet, but he's going to make it obvious. You guys are good at communication, and I think he notices right there that you're on. Is it this lap? Maybe it's the next lap. He brings you up. But there is a moment here I do remember where he brings you up to the front, because your role in this position on the team isn't the end. I mean, it could be if you're sweeper, but really I think your job is to make it fast for James, who is more of a pure field sprinter than you are. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
And you can see
he can find his way through a bunch pretty well.
And you can see the chaos that ensues here when there isn't like a proper, 7 or 8 team lead out on the front. It's just not quite fast enough, which is crazy to say because you guys are averaging over 30 miles an hour. That's over 50 kilometers an hour. But it's still just not fast enough because that's the class of athlete here at national level races like Grit. And as a result, you get these big swarms. Here's Sam on your right. This is another one of your teammates. So now you guys are all up here. This is 4 of you in a lead out. You have your teammate up the road in the breakaway, and fighting for position. It's not as easy as it seems on TV, you guys. When there's a big lead out in the Tour de France and stuff like that, it's like long strings of riders. The sprinter only has to worry about the rider in front of them. It's much messier in real life and at ground level like this. And you have to fight off these other riders who are swarming up the inside. When it's not 35 miles an hour, everybody's trying to move up and find those perfect positions. Because if you think about it, there's only one there's the hand call up, by the way, too. There's only one perfect position, and there's 50 riders who want to occupy that position, whether it's through a corner or whether it's setting up for the sprint. So that's why these can get really messy when they're not fast enough. I don't know why the cadence riders are on the front. That's a bit strange, huh?
They had Lucas up the road. I think they were just trying to set it up best for Holic, but yeah, they weren't going land speed, that's for sure. So I decided to get on the front and just put a bit more pace on, string it out a bit for the boys.
Yeah. So what's the pace here? Because this is really important. We're 2 kilometers to go. You are riding high 300s, low 400s. You want to make sure that you're not going to completely burn yourself out like in one lap and leave your boys isolated. By the way, you are not doing 0 watts right here. Your power meter was cutting out. You are doing a very consistent 31, 32 miles an hour here, which is about 450 watts. And the idea is, correct me if I'm wrong, Marshall, but the idea here is to slowly ramp up the speed. Your boys are in your draft. They're behind you. If we can get a good shot with the 360 camera, we will. But the idea here is to get them in proper position coming into the final lap. And that's your role because you have this slow burn. It's like it's crazy power. I mean, it's 450 watts, 800 up that little hill, but it's a sustainable power for you into the final 1 kilometer, maybe 800 meters of this race. Is that the plan?
Yeah. So down the front straight, I would just hang far right, so you don't get insided and taken out. But yeah, you just hold to one side, and just defend. Try and keep the boys in best position.
That's a good point. You want to crowd the inside. People love diving the inside on that corner, especially corner 3. Right here, it's so wide and so fast. There's not much you can do, but protecting the inside's always a good idea with leadouts because leadout, guys, remember, isn't just about power and it's not just about speed. It's about timing and it's about position more than anything else. And you're demonstrating a good example of that. And this is what we're talking about. This is why it's tough when there's only 4 of you because you can get swarmed in the final lap. But that's just it. This is the final lap. Your work is is kind of done here. You have a little bit more to give, and which is cool because we get to kind of sit courtside here and look at how the sprint finish is going to play out. But your boys are now like 3rd, 4th, and 5th, or 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, or something in the line, which is really ideal for the last lap on this course. Is James the guy for the? There's James on the left. Is he the guy for the sprint?
Yeah. We're going for both Jameses here, but it's kind of hard because they're both sitting. We've got 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the Omnium sewed up currently, so it's kind of hard to get a designated leader.
Yeah, a bit of a strange thing. Thinking like Team Sky circa 2015 or whenever that was. But you guys are coming into the finish here with the intention of beating Holic. And then your idea, because you're still top 10 in the Omnium as well, is just to steal up as many Omnium points as possible from the back. So you're still going to empty the tank as best as you can. And we're going to talk about what happened with with who was that?
Bailey.
Yeah, with Bailey here in a second. But let's just wrap up the sprint here. Still popping off impressive numbers for doing so much work in this race, especially in the closing laps. Let's rewind just for a second. All right, here we are, 400 meters to go. We're coming into corner 3. You have 3 teammates here in front of you, and we're going to watch this. Right here is Bailey, and he's just going to get squeezed into the curb here from the rider on his right, and he just runs out of road. You see he stands up. He almost high sides it, and bunny hops the curb like as he's standing his bike up. You said he completely destroyed his rear wheel. Oh, there's that's all sealant, isn't it?
The sealant just started bursting out of the wheel. He destroyed the rim, and yeah.
And somehow saves it. They say protect your front wheel. He got his front wheel over the curb. Back wheel kind of took the damage instead. Somehow avoided this other curb, which is jutting in. Controls his bike. Pretty classy move, to be honest, considering they're going 35 miles an hour or something into that final corner.
The chain's off. He's riding the rim. Barry isn't coming up. He's bracing for a hard landing.
Somehow saves it. Yeah. So he's out of the sprint, obviously. But as we pick things back up where we were a moment ago, you're still popping off 1,300 watts here, over 1,000 sustained. The motivation, again, like we said, is just to eat up as many Omnium points as possible. Your primary duty of lead-out job is complete. Still come in. Can you pull up results? Like, where'd you guys end up?
Yeah, the results in a second, but our side goal for today was to get Bailey into the top 10, so we could all get a call up, all 6 of us get a call up, and life would be easy. And then he had to have a bit of misfortune and have a date with the curb.
I'm just glad he didn't introduce himself into that second curb. The first one really teed him up for a faceplant, but he somehow managed to save it. But results-wise, Bailey unfortunately did not make it. He limped home with busted equipment. But yeah, I won't tease it anymore. You guys won the race, right?
Yeah, Keegan took the win from the break. He told me he attacked with half a lap to go. Look, they kind of looked at Lucas to close it as him being the strongest sprinter, but yeah, they played the game, and Keegan ended up staying off the front. So that makes Keegan first, James 7th, James Gardner 10th, me 11th, Sam 12th, and a sad DNF for Bailey.
So you guys still stacking the top 10 in the Omnium, looking really good for the rest of the series. Can you overtake Richard Hollick? I don't know. Dude's riding so strong. You guys will have to stay tuned for the next episode, which will be Grit Stage 6. Marshall, thank you as always for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.